Well, hello there, and welcome back to another episode of Geek with Glasses Live. Today, I want to talk briefly about a big concern that I'm starting to see out in the Twittersphere as well as in the blogs, and that is battery life using iOS 4.0. Whether you're on an existing 3G or 3GS phone, it seems like there's been a lot of concern regarding battery life with the new operating system. I myself actually am noticing that I'm getting better battery life on my device since upgrading to iOS 4.0, and I want to kind of share some of those tips that I personally use to keep my battery from dying right away. So let's just start off real quick. Let's jump into our settings, and first and foremost, under the Wi-Fi setting, what you'll take notice is, you'll notice down here, I do not have Ask to Join Networks on. That's actually default when you start up your iPhone for the first time. It is turned on. I go in and turn mine off, and the reason I do that is I know when I'm going to be somewhere that has a Wi-Fi that I want to connect to, like if I go to Starbucks or if I'm at McDonald's or Panera or any of the places that offer free Wi-Fi. I know they offer free Wi-Fi, so I can just very easily come into the Wi-Fi and select the hotspot that I want. As well as when I'm at home, I'm on my Wi-Fi all the time. But let's say I'm at an airport and I don't want to pay for Wi-Fi rates over at an airport, and I'm just going to sit there for a while. The other thing I do is I go in and I turn my Wi-Fi physically off so that I'm not actually sending and receiving signals via the 802.11 transceiver that is in the device, and that right there will help reduce your amount of battery drag pretty significantly. One of the other options that I also go in and do is I come in and I turn vibrate for ring off. I want it to vibrate when it's in silent mode, so I leave that on. Vibrate for ring, I turn that off. That's a big battery drain. This vibrating engine and the little motor that spins around, that is definitely a battery drain. One of the other things that I come down here and do is, you'll notice, I turn lock sounds and keyboard clicks off. And the reason I do that is, you got to remember, it is essentially this is a little handheld computer, and every little thing that it does requires CPU cycles. The more CPU cycles that are used, the more power that it needs to actually make that CPU cycle work. So little sounds and all of those types of things actually do draw battery power. So I turn those off. The other thing, obviously, you want auto brightness on. I kind of come in here and I typically set it in the middle and I let it kind of auto adjust from there. But you definitely want to have auto brightness on. If you're in a dark room, it's going to be a little dimmer and it's not going to use your battery quite as much. One of the other options that we can go in here and do to kind of keep an eye on what's going on, if you have an iPhone 3GS and you go into General and then go into Usage, you can turn this battery percentage off, and this kind of gives you a little bit of an indicator in the upper right hand corner of the exact percentage that you actually have up and running. So that's a good thing that you can do. Another thing, I don't use my phone with a Bluetooth. I have a Bluetooth. I find Bluetooth to not be all that good. I don't like the way I just get one sound. So I actually use the earbuds that came with the iPhone so that I can actually get good sound quality and hear the person that I'm speaking with really well. So I keep my Bluetooth off. If you have a Bluetooth headset, cool. Leave it on when you have your headset on and you're going to use it. When you're sitting at home and you're just surfing the web and you know you're just going to pick the phone up, turn that off. Bluetooth is a huge, huge battery drain. So that's another thing that you can definitely turn off. One of the other things that you want to definitely check also is your multitasking. The new phone comes with multitasking, and I know there's a lot of debate right now about how multitasking is working, and you got to remember one thing, folks. So far, the developers out there just got the API 2 weeks ago and the new code, so they have to go in and re-engineer all of their apps to take advantage of true multitasking on the iPhone. So again, right now I've got a fresh phone running. All I've got is the settings. I just did a reboot. So let's go ahead and just launch a couple of apps here real quick. Let's launch the USA Today app. We'll go back to home and let's launch the App Store. We'll go back to home here real quick and let's launch Sports Center. And let's go back and we'll open up Safari. And let's go back and open up the calendar. Okay, so now we've got a bunch of apps that are running. They're all down here, and every one of these apps are using CPU power to run in the background. The more apps you have running, the more CPU that is going to be used. And like I mentioned earlier, the more CPU cycles that are being used, the more chance for a battery drain, because as those CPU cycles up to run the apps, it's going to draw battery power from the device. So what you want to do is go in and close out apps that you're not using. If you're constantly on text messaging and you're constantly on Twitter, go ahead and leave those open. But if you're playing something like I've got my games folder here, and let's say you're playing We Rule for a little while, but you know you're not going to be actually using We Rule until whatever you've planted is harvested or whatever, go in and close the app after you initially load it, and that's going to help to reduce the amount of CPU cycles that the phone is processing, therefore saving battery life. Again, if you launch your My Wireless to look at your AT&T account, or if you launch the App Store because you're downloading some apps, but you're done downloading those apps, go back there and close those apps out. It's simple. You double-click your home screen. It will, well, let's try this again. You double-click your home screen. It'll bring up your apps. You hold it until you get the wiggly diggly dance, and then you click the close button, and that's it. You're done. That app is now closed, and it is not sucking down battery power due to the CPU that the phone is required to run it. So those are just a couple of my quick tips that I would recommend if you want to get the maximized battery life out of your whichever device you have, whether you have a 3G, the 3GS, or if you're planning on getting the new iPhone 4, which does have, they're claiming, a 60% larger battery. So, you know, hopefully this will help you mitigate some of that battery loss and charging. Another thing, certain people out there may be having totally different experiences with their battery. Their batteries may be completely dying, you know, in no time flat when they're using the new iOS4, and that very well could be the battery health, the health of the battery that they have. With these chargeable batteries, you definitely want to, on a regular basis, maybe once a month or so, drain the battery all the way to pretty much dead, and then charge it all the way without using the phone, and then use it for a few days, and then charge it dead, you know, at least once a month. And that, what that does is that kind of helps with the battery memory and the health of the battery overall. These are a couple of tips. I charge my phone every night. I have my charger on my bedstand. When I go to bed, I plug my phone in, I let it charge. It's 100% the next morning. And then I also plug it in when I'm in my car if I'm doing any long distance driving, and I charge it up. But I'm actually having really good battery life. So if you try some of these tips, let me know whether or not they work for you and if they actually help you maintain battery life. So give them a try. Leave me some comments. Please comment, like, subscribe to the YouTube videos, and leave your feedback. If you want to make video responses, please do. Show me, you know, give me a video and let me know what's going on with your battery life, or any other concerns that you may have with the iPhone. I'm thinking about starting a new iPhone quick tips type video, and kind of keep them a little shorter than this video. I kind of rambled on a little bit, but let me know what you would like to see regarding the iPhone iOS4 or the iPhone 4 when it does come out, and I'll see what I can do about getting that data. So once again, this is Neil, your Geek with Glasses. Thanks for watching, and as always, follow us up on Twitter, and that's twitter.com/geekwithglasses. Have a good day, and have fun with your new iPhone iOS 4.